welcome back to the City Ground. How's it feel? 40 years on. Does it feel like 40 years since that day?
Absolutely not. It's quite frightening when you think that it's 40 years, but you know, it's great to be back here chatting to Forest fans and reminiscing about some of the goals that I scored here. Actually, some of the goals that we've been talking about tonight I don't remember, but I remember that one. How can I forget that goal?
Do you ever watch it back on YouTube or DVD of a night?
I'll be honest, I'm not a great watcher of games that I've played in the past, but every now and then I see the goal and people say to me, what do you remember about it? Well, I remember everything about it, because you know, I remember Ian Boyer playing it out to John Robertson in a wide area, and I was always instructed from Brian Clough that whenever Robert went the ball, I had to get into that box, and I had a lot of ground to make up, because John always goes past his fullback, delivered the ball in the box. So when it came over, I thought, what an opportunity this is. So I just had to make good contact. If it had been a right foot volley, I'd have been more confident, but it was from the head. I wasn't so confident, but you know, I've scored better goals, but never have I scored a goal that's been more important than that.
Your signing for Forest, let alone the goal, was historic. The first ever £1 million player in the history of global football. Did that put extra pressure on you coming into the final?
Well, I didn't know I'd be playing in the final until the day of the match. You know, there's a lot of conjecture about whether I would start, and Brian never announced the team until 11 o'clock on the morning of the game. I was always reasonably confident that I would start. You know, why would you pay £1 million for a player and you've got a one-off game of football where you've got a player who could be the match winner? You know, I could always score a goal, so I expected to play. Having said that, you know, when I look back now, of all the guys that you know, were in the Forest squad, probably the one that has become my best friend is Martin O'Neill, and I feel sorry for Martin that he never played in that final. But ironically, the next year I missed out and Martin did play.
In terms of Martin now, he's at this club. We saw the love that we have for him here at Forest. Do you think he can take us back to great things?
He can't do it by himself. You know, he's going to need plenty of help from the owners of the football club, because what I've seen of the current group of players that he has, they're not good enough. Mind you, I've only seen them once, and that was at Sheffield Wednesday when they got beaten 3-0.
That's not quite on message for tonight, Trev. Let's move on. Should say on the record that I think they have a fantastic starting 11, strength in depth, and a team that will absolutely win the league next season. So,
I think the Championship is going through a phase where I don't think there's a lot of quality in there, and there's a lot of big teams in there, and we all know who the big teams are.
Forest.
Yeah, I mean, Forest finished 9th, so there's a little bit of ground to make up.
But we'll do it, right? We'll do it.
Well, I hope you do. You know, I've always loved this football club. You know, along with Birmingham City, people say to me, which results do you look for? I always look for Birmingham and Nottingham Forest. And I'd love for both of them to get back in the Premier League.
We would, but mainly Forest. In terms of your time at Forest, have you kept any mementos? Have you kept that shirt from the final?
I'm not one for keeping things. If you said to me now, you know, where's my European Cup medals, I wouldn't be able to tell you. You know, I love my time as a footballer. You know, not many played for 23 years, as I did, from the age of 16 till I was 39. And the only reason I didn't play till I was 40 was because I was the manager and I couldn't keep picking myself.
In terms of your time at Forest, your relationship with Clough was hilarious. He famously signed you with a squash racket behind your head in case you made a balls up of it. He told you to take your hands out your pockets.
Like no.
I was going to say it when he came on, but I didn't want to be too rude at the start. What are your memories of Brian Clough, your abiding memories of him, in terms of your relationship with him?
Well, so much was written in the press about, you know, our relationship, and there were so many untruths, because Brian used the media to benefit himself and to benefit the football club. But I took it with a pinch of salt. I was a serious professional, and I came here for one thing and one thing only. That was to improve myself as a footballer, to play more often for my country, and to try and win things. You know, Forest were the only team that could actually compete with Liverpool. So how fortunate was I that, you've got to remember that £1 million was a lot of money, and it eliminated a lot of clubs who were interested in me. They just couldn't afford that. So there was 2 clubs, Coventry and Nottingham Forest. So how lucky was I that Forest were one of them teams? And to play for Brian Clough, it was just wonderful. I mean, the first day I walked into this stadium here, it was like walking into the England dressing room with so many top players. Forest were the team. You know, I've gone on record as saying that towards the end of my time at Birmingham City, remember the fantastic run that Forest had, some 40 games? I used to come off at the end of the match at St Andrews or wherever I played, you know, away from home, and the first thing I'd say is, how did Forest get on? Because it really captured the imagination of certainly me, and I became a big Forest fan. Little did I know that I would be joining them as a player.
Well, it's incredible. And not only did you join us as a player, Trevor, you scored the most amazing goal in Nottingham Forest history.
It wasn't that difficult.
Well, it would be difficult to most of us here today.
If you had a ball here now, I'd show you how I did it.
Has anyone got a ball? I mean, the risk of breaching health and safety legislation.
Well, you'd have to be John Robertson, though.
I think I'm fat enough. Robbo's slimmer than me now. I'm the fat one.
No, John was such a great player, he really was. I think he was underrated, John. We didn't underrate him as players alongside him. I think he was the best player in Europe at the time.
Well, he'll be joining us in just a few moments, but for now, ladies and gentlemen, before we show you the second half of that fateful day against Namo, give it up for the legend, Trevor Francis!